So there's a lot to yap about. It's been about 2 weeks, roughly, since the announcement of God of War Wtphu. I apologize for misenunciating it, but people talk about it, and it's almost crazy to the lengths of how angry some people are. I've seen a lot of Instagram posts. I see a lot of Twitter posts. So I just want to share. I want to share what I found and kind of discuss it. The idea is that what I'm discussing should be the posts that I'm sharing. I believe are going to be like it's going to be giving. Oh my god, I don't know what. I don't know what I'm doing with the window. But anyways, Instagram. That was the whole reason why I'm doing this, right? I saw a boatload of this on Instagram. It has flooded my Instagram. And I'm a little tired of it. Hold on.
Diagram between dudes who don't get laid on the regular and dudes...
Hold on, let me just try that again. Sorry, my dude. Hold on. Let me just pause you. Okay, let me hear you.
I'm just saying, the Venn diagram between dudes who don't get laid on the regular and dudes who are mad that God of War Wtphu has a female lead is a goddamn circle. A circle jerk, if you will. This shit has never made sense to me. Seeing a woman do something badass does nothing to make me feel insecure or take away from who I am as a person. And besides, as a straight male, I think I would rather stare at Faye's backside than Kratos' muscly man ass for 6
I got it. I mean,
hours. But honestly, misogyny in the gaming space comes as no surprise. We just expect that. What really pissed me off, though, is how little effort y'all put into it. Wtphu. Y'all went with Wtphu when God of Woke was right motherfucking there.
There's God of Woke, there's Mom of War, and, like, a bunch of crazy ways. There's a bunch of more beautiful ways to, like, be upset about it, but come on. Woke of War? Mom of War is good, God of Woke is great, but there is the population who is upset with a female lead in a God of War game is extremely crazy. Especially where there's like, I've archived like a tweet where, for whatever reason, Mr. Asmongold, who has been preaching to the high hills of Asphodel that he doesn't agree with it, and he's never played the 2018-2022 title, is incredibly interesting. I know why he makes Asmongold would talk about the subject, because rage baiting brings people to his channel, and then he gets more eyes on him, and it makes me feel like a part of his motif is like whatever all news is good news, and that is honestly effective in most markets, especially where you're at a place to where you don't care and you don't do enough to be in trouble by the law. You don't advertise Houthis, you don't advertise like terrorists or like shock your dog. But it's crazy, right? It's crazy, right? He says enough things to not become Hassan Piker. He does things to equally upset Hassan Piker, which is like incredibly funny, but like it's crazy.
That is pathetic. Starting to think a lot of y'all wasn't actually around in them 2006 COD lobbies y'all stay screaming about, because well, weak shit like that would have got your ass ate up. Anyways, I'm finna wrap this on up. If you are one of the people I'm speaking on that's hating on Mom of War, well, maybe you should seek therapy. Or apologize to your mother for ever forming these opinions. Rest of y'all have you a wonderful day, or at least the one you voted for deserved. Just do me one favor. Keep the motherfucking boots out of your motherfucking mouth, and remember that the golden rule will always remain, yeehaw, fuck the law. Love y'all. See you down the line. Look, I'm just saying.
Thank you, pissed off bartender. Go ahead and follow him. You know what? Why not? Why not just follow him? Because he make a good point to where people are going all crazy, and people who are rage baiting and are upset about Mom of War is in need of therapy. They need a bunch of things to like. They need they need more than just Deborah to convince them otherwise, because Deborah, who is the, I think she is the current voice actor and both the voice actor and character model of the upcoming Wtphu game, and I believe, if I remember correctly, she is the voice of Faye, Kratos' second wife, convinced him to settle down after the events of God of War 3, convinced him to have a kid, and have him go on, like, convince him it was a good idea to do certain things. She was so convincing. There has to be some respects to be a type of woman that convinces Kratos to do certain things, right? Because the whole title of God of War, I don't remember him ever actually wanting that. The title is not something you look for, like becoming a YouTuber, becoming a senator, becoming a graphics designer. That's not what the God of War is. The God of War is what people entitle you for the fear that you lay onto them. And apparently and allegedly, when Kratos and Faye met for the first time, they were at each other's throats. So that's incredibly wild for a woman who is in that position to put him in that position, right? So it's crazy to where, again, I just want to show off. I want to show off some of my feeds and then talk about some of the Twitter things I found as well in the process of talking about God of War, at least in this clip, and then we'll go from there. Thank you, bartender. Let's check the other one out.
This is the...
Hold on.
Look at her. Kratos was never a...
Hold on. This. I can never... Hold on.
Really? That's your main character? This is the... Look at her.
See, I think this guy... I don't honestly know your name, but the idea that the former God of War director has this almost instant reaction to the idea of someone as powerful as Faye to calm him down, potentially be at a stalemate with Kratos, and then convince him to have kids and convince him to, like, hey, I'm gonna be dying soon, do what I tell you because this is the best outcome for us down the road. It's incredibly crazy.
Kratos was never a good-looking guy. He was meant to have his nose broken and not be like...
Look, you say he's not meant to be a good-looking guy, but that's subjective. You don't think he's attractive, but you have not understood the amount of muscle that you convinced other men to develop because you built him in that way.
Like a matinee idol. Yeah. Because most of our audience then were men. We fed men, or at least straight men, what we thought they wanted.
I mean, women like a certain type of body too. So, like, the fact that you're targeting men with this kind of model, and you react in this no homo way, is incredibly projective.
Power and aggression and the ability to take care of business. That was the aspiration.
That's the thing, like, that's the funniest thing, to where, like, it's crazy to where you have these infant thoughts about what Kratos means to you and how you distributed it throughout God of War 1, 2, and 3. Cozy Squirtle Wtphu, incredibly funny. Funny name, but I love how being a woman. There have been women gamers as long as there have been male gamers, which is true. I remember instances to where I'd have a nice conversation talking about, like, with a woman about, like, hey, the kind of games that once it's kind of like the veil of the 2000s, to where in the beginning you got bullied for talking about playing video games. You also got bullied for talking about anime. And look at us in 2020 and 2026 to where people are talking about anime more openly. We suffered from bullying of gaming and anime so that other people can properly enjoy anime and games in public. The concepts of talking about this so passionately in public has never been a thing 20 years ago, because you had to be like, you would look like a certain person if you played video games because of how unattractive, how unpopular some things were in early 2000s. But like, I digress. Women have always been able to play games with a main male character and still manage to connect with them. Arthur Morgan, I don't know. Desmond Miles, Geralt. Oh wait, Desmond Miles, is that Assassin's Creed, I think? And Arthur Morgan, who's Arthur Morgan? Is that Red Dead Redemption? Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, I was right. And then Desmond Miles was what is it? I know my games. Was Desmond Miles I want to say he was Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I was right. And then we know Joel from Last of Us, Geralt from The Witcher. Emphasizing with them, rooting for them, and giving hope. You did a good job, thank you. Nice edit. Women have never had a problem with male men characters. They're human, and women categorically find what makes them interesting characters regardless of gender. Yeah, because like the whole like this little thing is like, I can get behind Bayonetta, I can get behind Zelda, Samus Aranus. Is that what that's name? Samus Aran. I can get behind Samus Aran. Bayonetta. I can get behind Peach and Daisy. I can get behind what is it? There are things that are in my head. I'm thinking about strong female characters. Shoot, even if you character create a female character in World of Warcraft or in Dark Souls, or if you make a female character in Monster Hunter, if you make a female character in several games, to where it's also a fun game to play, yeah, you can still connect with these characters whether they're men or women, because like they're human or display human traits. It's like, I don't see I mean, there are games where you can play as the point being, we're looking at a humanoid female character, and we can relate to the person that we create and so forth, right? Women categorize women. I would make a caveat that women and people in general can categorically find what makes them interesting. So I can love Wtphu because she somehow convinces Mr. Angry Man Kratos to settle down and have a kid and to be better, right? His whole entire mantra from the God of War in 2018 and 2022 was the whole message of being better. Your past doesn't dictate your identity, and you could always make a choice. That's the entire thing when it comes to like this whole thing about the current God of War. Because if anything else, like God of War Wtphu is it's a ribbon on top of the story that we've been telling since God of War 18. God of War 18 is a story about Kratos manually burying his second wife properly. Like, he has to go through the loss of a wife a second time. And I don't know if there's another man out there that can actually handle the loss of a partner. But that is crazy to make me believe that it's weak to feel these emotions, to where he actually went through the process of finding someone, getting interested, becoming married, having family a second time. Because you would almost imagine the amount of loss that Kratos has had in the first trilogy would never give him another reason to have family again. But sometimes people give other people reasons to do so. Sometimes a lady like Faye gave Kratos a reason to think that he's allowed to have some kind of happiness, which is the form of a family, and he's allowed to love again. It's incredibly wild, considering that Athena gaslit him into doing a lot of things. That also means, that's the funny thing, because if I remember correctly, Kratos was gaslit by Athena to fight and kill Ares, believing that if he does this, then he will be forgiven. He wanted to be forgiven for the mistake of slaughtering his own family, because he was tricked by Ares. He was tricked by Ares to kill his own family, to make him a better warrior, to make him less distracted. And then Athena, in preventing him from killing Zeus, gaslights him that, oh no, you can't kill him, please, you can't kill Zeus. He's your father. And then and then in the third game he goes to like actively do it anyways, and then condemns him for choosing to release hope into the world after destroying like Zeus. Spoilers for a game that's like incredibly old, right? But it's wild. Men can't do that. The ones outraged by the addition of more female main characters cannot do that with female characters. They have to be able to relate to them, and the only way they know how to relate is if they are men. I mean, I don't technically think so. I don't know how I feel about men can't categorically find what makes them interesting characters. Because like both genders can find both genders categorically interesting. That's why we follow fandoms to the ends of the earth. That's why both men and women can follow certain characters into these kind of discourses on the internet. I don't believe in that statement. It's incredibly crazy to me. The only way they know how to relate, that's because a lot of men don't actually see women as people. They see them as objects, or see them lately as oppositions to even the enemy. Okay, that makes sense. The guys who are outraging can't categorically find what makes women interesting characters. Okay, that I can, if I wrap my head around it long enough, I can see what they're talking about. Men who don't feel this way men who don't feel like women are taking their jobs, women are taking my idols, women are taking my heroes, have no problem with what gender the character is, because a good character is a good character, end of story. Which is incredibly fair, because like, oh yeah, and then in the edit, there's like, this person, sounds like she, yep, a living woman, she, good post, her name is Cozy Squirrel, YouTube is what I'm understanding, because if I remember correctly, some people do that with their YouTube channels, to where they do name_TV for Twitch, I think. That's the thing. This little bit at the end is advertising that she has a YouTube channel. Yeah, but ultimately, we don't know. We even, like, to further hammer down the point, we don't even know what the story of Lao Fei is going to be about. Because all we know about the story is that Lao Fei was cremated, was a burning burial by Kratos. She goes into the afterlife of the Everwind. She wakes up in confusion because she doesn't know where she is, and all we know is that she's traversing Everwind, gets captured by a Mongolian soldier, and then gets punched left and right by a Mongolian god of war and an Egyptian god of war, and then finds a cube with a sword that we don't know about yet. We don't know what the sword is, but we have a talking ribbon and a talking cube, gelatinous cube. And then, yeah, that happens, and then the whole point of the story, I think, is to figure out what's happening at the observatory, what's happening with the two god of wars that are like imprisoning dead spirits, I guess, because there was a fox that was, they had a rock, they put the rock on the fox, and then there was an aura that came around the fox, and that's not good. And then Lao Fei is just, I don't know if Lao Fei is trying to go home and trying to be revived again, but for whatever reason the gateway to being revived is closed. That's a plot point that we don't know about. Hold on. There's a lot going on too, but also there's a oh, okay. Calm down, lady. You're beautiful, but calm down. I have to admit, my Instagram does not help me either, because some of the women that I follow on Instagram are big, muscular women that can fold me into a pancake, and that's almost a bit of an inspiration. It's about the power that they have. It's not about sex. It's about power. Sophia, I don't know Sophia from Plague's Tale. Mael, Lune, and the Paintress and Expedition 33, I do know. Although that is upsetting. You didn't introduce... Wait, hold on. There's one more character. Expedition 33 women. There's also CL. How could you not introduce my queen CL as well? CL is incredibly strong. CL is an incredibly strong teacher as well. There's Ciri. I don't know Ciri very well, but I know The Witcher 4 is coming out. I also know of Lara Croft. Everybody knows her. Shoot, if I'm in a firefight, Lara Croft I can trust her. I'm not familiar with Isabel, so let's mute this for a second. Let's see the edit. Ciri. There's Clara Redfield, definitely for sure. Lara Croft, I trust. Senua, I don't know the character yet, but I can play it. I have a way to play it before the third title comes out. And there's all the mutants: Jean Grey, Rogue, Mystique, Jubilee, Emma Frost. Emma Frost? Yes, Emma Frost. There's also, I said Rogue already. There is it Helga? I don't know. But the girl from what is it? What am I thinking of? Asgard, right. There's a bunch of women within Asgard already that have women from Norse mythology. There's a bunch of X-Men women that are like powerful, and I can follow because they can fold me like pennies, right? There's also Karlach, Rose Belmont, the daughter of Trevor Belmont. It's crazy. Aloy is crazy. I've not met Jesse yet, but I do have the game, and I want to know about the Control story before Resonant comes out, because I've been told that Resonant is a kind of like Devil May Cry style game. That's really fun. But that's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video right now because I'm recording while I stream. So I'm gonna continue. So come back again for me yapping a bit more. Thank you, and I'm live recording, so I'll see you next time, right?